Hello, everybody, and welcome to Back Issues. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
Oh, I forgot that Ben is in here. I'm Tiffany. Hi. Usually when I'm on the show now, it's like,
there's another...
I'm Ben,
and
I'm
you
Tiffany.
Go.
Right, we don't get to see this configuration
This
too
hasn't
often.
happened that often.
No, it's true.
Frequent.
But yeah, hey, we're talking about Superman today. We did a story a while back called "What Do You Get for the Man Who Is Everything?"
Yeah.
which was written by Alan Moore. I figure we'd do the last Superman story ever, written by Alan Moore with art by Kurt Swan and George Perez.
The last one ever.
Technically, of the pre-Crisis Superman.
Oh.
This is actually called "Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow." Neil Gaiman tried to do like a spiritual sequel to it called "Whatever Happened to the Cape Crusader," which is good.
Okay.
And so is this. This came out.
It is a spiritual successor.
Yeah, I think it works. It's just not written by Alan Moore, and it never will be, because
He's not writing for DC.
he has no interest in doing that.
Yeah.
So this is coming out of '86.
Okay.
Crisis was happening. It was a year-long event, so they needed to fill space, and they were also rebooting their universe, and so they're ending the books, and they're given the reins to then superstar comic book artist John Byrne to take over for Superman. But what do we do with the books that are starring Superman right now? Like,
Cancel them?
Yeah, that's the plan. But we still have 2 more to come out, and we're like, what are we gonna do? Ooh, I know. And so the editor at the time was like, I've got an idea. I'll get Jerry Siegel, co-creator and writer of the Superman story when it was first published in '37, to write the last Superman story. We'll treat it like we're ending Superman.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna stop publishing
Forever.
it. And we'll ask the creator of Superman to write the last Superman story.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, so she tracked him down, found him at a comic book convention, was like, you want to do it? And he's like, yeah. And then the lawyers were like, no. So then he was off the table, and they just didn't bother to do that again.
Wait, whose lawyers?
Everyone's. The Siegels and the Schusters and the Superman thing was a complicated mess up until like very recently. So like
you're just going to
86.
reopen.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah.
So instead, they asked Alan Moore. And Alan Moore's like, yeah, all right, I suppose I could do that. I guess I'll write the last Superman story ever.
If you want.
If you want that. Sounds like a real jogging good time, I suppose. So he wrote the story, and he treated it like it's the last Superman story ever.
Okay.
So this is like Superman die at the end, or what?
Yeah, more or less.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
More or less.
it's the end. So, and the story opens in a very like flowery, cute little intro that's written by Alan Moore. It's about like, this is an imaginary story about what happens if Superman dies. And remember, it's an imaginary story, but aren't they all? Ooh, and you're like, okay, Alan, I get it.
Yeah, got it.
And the story takes place in the future, and we're seeing a statue of Superman, immortalizing him for all time because Superman is no more. He's not among us anymore.
Right. A statue of Superman that looks. Oh, this. You're talking about, which looks just like he's standing there.
He's standing there on a podium, and he's like, "How long do I have to do this before they're convinced that I'm a statue?"
It's like one of those like wizard cards.
What?
In Harry Potter, remember like about the wizard cards? You don't expect him to stand around all day, do you?
You can't say that to a '90s kid who collected Wizard magazine.
Yeah, I was thinking
Packaged
Wizard magazine.
with
Yeah.
holographic cards. I'm like, I guess he kind of looks 3-dimensional if you turn it. But like, oh, you mean the actual thing that the culture might actually know what you're talking about.
Right. That anyone watching might know.
You
Right,
got
not me.
Dumbledore.
Yeah, you got Dumbledore. Where's it going?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, story opens and it's like it's the future, and Lois is older, and so she's being interviewed
I like
by
that she's older.
older.
She's older.
So she's
Everyone's
like
older.
40.
Yeah, more or less.
Okay.
Well, I guess they don't want to say because they
They
don't
don't
want to
say.
date
Yeah.
when it is. So
I think they say it's like 1997 or something.
right.
There's a knock on the door at Lois's residence. She's not Lois Lane anymore, by the way. Her name is Lois Elliott. And
Okay.
she's married. She's moved on. And so they sent this guy named Tim Crane over to her place because the Daily Planet is doing a kind of like retrospective on the last days of Superman.
Okay.
The story takes place, by the way, on August 16th, 1997, the far-flung future.
Right.
Remember, she has like a crazy coffee maker
Oh,
thing.
it's the future, and so she's making coffee for them in a like domed coffee-making structure. You'll see little like 1950s, it's the future isms peppered throughout the book. And I think that's very deliberate because if you ever read a script by Alan Moore, every panel is about 3 pages long and has like full bold, he doesn't write in anything other than caps lock, which is like, of course.
I can imagine
and then Rorschach does this, and here's what his face, here's what the blot looks like, and here's what position he's in, and here's what it means.
Here's specifically what's in the background of the panel.
And this is what, exactly.
Every
This
text
fly
message
is over here.
Every text message from him
is just shouting.
Yeah.
Pick up more milk. There's no way that he drinks milk.
I was gonna say, there's no way he knows how to turn off the caps on his phone.
It's more like, turn on the caps lock. Okay, done. No, I never can turn off my phone. So Crane's interviewing Lois. She's, of course, retired. She doesn't work for the Daily Planet anymore. She's living the domesticated life.
She has like 12,000 Pulitzer Prizes.
She just quit for no reason?
Well, no, she settled down.
Oh.
That's what a working woman from the 50s would do. She'd get married, have a kid, then stop.
Yeah. But this was written in the 1980s.
Yeah, but it's about the Superman from like the 30s.
Oh, I see.
It's wrapping up all of the pre-Crisis Superman continuity.
Okay.
I mean, it's not doing all of that, but it's ending that Superman story.
Okay.
So Elliot's like, you were with Superman. It's not a secret that you dated him for a while or whatever. So, tell me more about like what happened. And so she's like, okay. So
what's he like in bed?
Yeah.
Why does she have a baby in like a glass cube?
Oh yeah, it's really weird. It's like, oh, what's wrong with her son?
Yeah.
No, that's where they keep them.
That's where they keep them.
Babies are all in cubes.
Either it's a baby in a cube or she's really into dolls.
Yeah.
Like when Lois quit the planet, she's like, I need to do something.
She occupied her time with porcelain dolls, realistic dolls.
Yeah.
That's very not far from the mark. But that being said, it is her son, and the baby is absolutely in some kind of like weird incubator. Maybe it's like, oh no, regular air is too toxic for babies. You need special filtered air.
Yeah.
It's never addressed.
Never explained.
So don't bother. Anyway, so she's talking about how like the last days of Superman were like really tense and weird. And like everything was kind of like amplified and uncomfortable. So
well, I mean,
almost like the world knew
that Superman was going to be shaken off of itself.
Also, it's like he's an alien from a dead, like weird, intense, like in terms of what?
Well, Superman, he's as American as apple pie. The man should be like, oh, everything's kind of cool. Like, plus I'm Superman, I'm here, everything should be fine. But it's not. Superman feels this tension, and it's set off immediately because when Superman arrives on the scene of like this great carnage, so Lois and Jimmy are there at the scene, and they're like, Superman, thank God you're here. And he's like, what's going on? And by the way, it's written kind of like a classic Superman story.
Okay.
So it's kind of like hokey and silly. But then like Alan Moore's like, but real life is really harsh, so don't forget. Like, so he throws that in there, which feels really, really cool, but also really, really out of place. But it's like, it's jarring and it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
He's doing it deliberately because at the end of the day, Alan Moore actually is a really brilliant writer.
Right.
So they're like, Bizarro just start tearing shit up and killing people.
Wow.
And Superman's like, Bizarro? Like, that's not what he does. Bizarro's just like a mindless, silly-ass villain of mine. Like, why would he do that?
Maybe he took the backwards thing too much. He's like, well, to kill them is to make them alive.
Yeah. No, he does. Bizarro comes back and he's like...
He fulfills the promise of Bizarro.
Yeah, Bizarro's like, Bizarro was thinking about where Superman come from and how doomed planet, so Bizarro like killed all of his people from the Bizarro world. And then came back, and then he's like, so Superman saves people, so I've got to kill everybody. So Bizarro starts murdering everybody, and so Superman and Bizarro are having this back and forth, and Superman's like, Bizarro, what's wrong with you? Like, why would you do this?
You didn't used to be like this.
Yeah, and he goes, and because I need to be a imperfect duplicate of Superman, I carried blue kryptonite. In the old days, there were lots of kryptonites, and they all were different colors, and all the colors did stuff.
Something different, yeah.
Like, they made him, like, lose his powers forever or turn gay, and so, like, the blue kryptonite kills Superman. Or kills Bizarro Superman. And so he uses the kryptonite on himself, and he kills himself in front of Superman.
What?
And so he just dies. And he's just, everything going dark, hello, Superman, hello. And Superman's like, so for Superman, what's going on? Everything's on fire. Bizarro went nuts, killed a whole bunch of people, and he's in that department store, and he went in there an hour ago, and he won't leave. And so Superman goes in there, he's like, Bizarro, what's up? I killed everybody, and myself.
Hello.
Superman's like, goodbye.
That was weird.
That was a weird one. So then Superman goes to work as Clark Kent.
I'm trying to imagine him like trying to get a story straight before he goes outside. He's like,
okay, I killed him.
I defeated him.
How?
Blue kryptonite?
I hit him with blue kryptonite.
Why? You murderer.
Because he killed people. He wouldn't stop.
That's you now?
He said, I'll never stop.
Okay.
We
have no reason not to trust you,
He was
Superman.
going to use his laser vision to kill a woman and her child.
Oh,
So
where's she? We'll get her side of the story. Oh, he did, though.
He killed her.
Well, he'd be like, I killed him, but since he's from Bizarro, it means he's not really dead.
Yeah.
It's a thing. Don't worry. I didn't actually do
That means he's really alive.
Yeah.
He's
At
truly
least to
living
him.
now.
So Superman's playing this all in his head, and he's like, you know what? It's just easier if I just
Fly away.
He goes straight up. He walked into the department store and just blasts out the ceiling, and they're like, well, that was weird. They go in there, oh, God! So Clark Kent goes to work, and they deliver him like a special package. Like, hey, Mr. Kent, you got a package. And he's like, oh, cool. At this point in pre-crisis, soon-to-be post-crisis continuity, Clark is a TV reporter because being a newspaper reporter would be antiquated.
Sure.
Wow,
So-
okay.
Yeah.
Sure, now more people can see the resemblance between Clark Kent and
I
Superman.
know.
Yeah.
Genius!
Superman opens up this package. It's stuffed with Superman action figures, which, by the way, existed during this time. Of
course.
And there's a DC event called Legends that is practically commercial for those action figures. But I know that they're for those action figures because old girlfriend from Smallville, Lana Lang, is working for the
TV station.
studio.
Right.
And she's like, this is a great action figure. See, you squeeze his legs, which is an action feature from that line with that figure. And what he would do is he'd punch.
Yeah.
That was his action feature. But instead, it shoots actual lasers out of its eyes and it destroys the desk for the news station.
Oh, jeez.
And then all of them start getting up and start flying around. And then they all blast Clark with their laser vision and reveal his Superman costume.
What?
And he's like, oh.
I'm a big fan. That's why I bought these.
He doesn't even try.
It's like those
Lana's
little
like-
robots?
Yeah. Or whatever.
Or like little hymns.
Yeah.
Were they made by the toy maker or whatever his
Yeah.
name is? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, Toyman.
Toyman.
So Superman's goose is cooked. He's like, oh. And Lana's like,
you got me.
right. And unlike some continuities, Lana Lang did not know that Clark Kent was Superman. She's
Okay.
like, all this time? Damn it. And then the two action figures of Superman come side by side and they're like, ho ho, we got you.
Start talking.
Yeah, like an Army of Darkness. And he goes, oh, I know that voice. That's and they're actually conduits for two Superman villains who've teamed up.
Oh.
The Prankster and Toyman.
Sure.
Because it's a big prank that he played on Superman.
And they knew who he was?
Yeah, they figured it out.
Oh, okay. Off panel? They figured it
yeah.
out? Okay.
I
Well,
mean-
it's all part of a scheme,
okay.
but I don't want to ruin
We
it.
get to
Right.
find
and
out
I mean,
what
to
happens.
be fair, it doesn't really.
Take a genius to figure out.
Right.
He slouches. It's a whole thing. So it's these two weird macabre action figures who are like, woohoo, we beat you. And he's like, oh, I know those voices. It's Prankster and Toyman. You jackasses.
Yeah.
Oh, you.
Yeah, and then they're like, hey, but you got to open up your other package. And then it's just this big box. And he opens up the box, and it's stuffed with a mangled corpse of his best friend from Smallville, Pete Ross.
What?
What?
Oh, yeah, no, they kidnapped him, and they tortured him until he told them that Superman was really Clark Kent.
Wow.
They knew that there was a connection between Superman and Clark Kent, so they just started with his family, with people that were
People who
related to
knew
him.
Clark Kent.
And they were like, oh, we got lucky on the first try.
So wait, is he dead or is he?
Oh, he's dead.
wow.
Pete Ross is dead in his box.
That's
Wow.
messed up.
Wow.
And Superman's like, oh my god, hey, Toyman and Prankster, do you know anything about radio waves? And they're like, oh, and he's like, because I can see them. And then he flies over there and just bashes through the wall, and he beats the crap out of them, and he wants to kill them, but he won't. And now he's like, well, my secret's out, I guess I'll just stop being Clark Kent. So he just stops being Clark Kent and is Superman all the time. So he just winds up going to Pete Ross's funeral just as Superman. He's like, oh, I guess that's just who I am.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
And
yeah.
the girls, Lois and Lana are like, what the hell?
He doesn't try to just get the people at the Daily Put look, guys, can you just keep this on the DL?
No.
You're all friends with
They
me.
were all on TV.
Oh, it was on TV
they
as it was
just turned
happening?
the cameras.
Oh, okay.
But his coworkers suck.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it was a scoop.
Yeah. They're doing their jobs.
Here comes that Pulitzer. I hope
Yep.
someone got one. Maybe it was Lois. Anyway.
Was she
She wasn't
there?
even there. No,
No.
she just gets it anyway.
Yeah, she just gets it anyway.
It's a Superman story. She
Now-
gets her.
Lois knows at this point?
No.
Oh.
No, she finds
so
out
nobody
too.
knows.
Nobody knew.
So in pre-crisis, in pre-crisis continuity, only Pete Ross knew his identity
Yeah, more or less.
and his parents, I
And
guess.
his parents, yeah. I mean, they have to.
Okay. Didn't know that.
Yeah. So the whole story is peppered throughout with like little like hints and time cutaways for Lois to be like, and then a bunch of other crazy stuff happened, but moving on.
Right.
Unbeknownst to me, some other crap was happening. So like we see, they established in dialogue that Brainiac, and we talked about Brainiac in our episode of Panic in the Sky.
Yeah.
In which like there are multiple Brainiacs like throughout continuity. Suffice it to say that in pre-crisis, nearing post-crisis continuity, Brainiac was a cool-looking robot. And Alan Moore is like, and then he destroyed him and like threw all his pieces to the four winds.
Okay.
And Lex Luthor is looking for it because he knows that like he can use his untold technology for nefarious, businesses.
Okay.
And so
That makes sense.
Lex is in the Arctic and he's like trudging through the snow and he finds Brainiac's head.
Right.
And he's like, awesome. And then Brainiac wakes up and then assimilates into Lex Luthor and attaches itself to his head and then plugs into his brain.
Oh.
Only he had hair to protect him.
He was the perfect specimen.
I could infect anybody's head, but like it would feel weird if there was hair under there.
Yeah,
so
well, and
like,
it goes bad. It needs to be
yeah,
washed.
yeah, it's just gross. It just saves me a lot of time.
Exactly. So Brainiac now puppeteers Lex Luthor and uses his vast intellect to help like augment his own.
What? But Brainiac was already way smarter than Lex Luthor, right?
He kind of indicates that he wasn't quite as smart, or at least that he could use Lex's intelligence.
Because he's a different kind of intelligence.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. He's more right-brained.
Now he's got like the artificial intelligence and the human intelligence
To create the perfect
best of
engine
both worlds.
death for
Yeah.
Superman.
Ah.
And, Lex's consciousness tries to resist Brainiac, but he's like, I'm too strong for you. Like,
Yeah.
take one step forward, and then another, and then another, and they just trudge through the snow.
Okay. Meanwhile,
At the Daily Planet.
which is still a thing?
oh,
Oh no,
yeah.
is the Daily Planet a radio
Daily
station or is that a
No,
different place?
Daily Planet and WGBS are now one like cohesive
Okay.
entity, and they have
Okay.
like a TV studio.
All right.
So Metallo has. Okay.
So it's just every
Yeah,
villain.
it's
from-
every notable Superman villain
Yeah,
shows
okay.
up in this. So
Okay.
Metallo, who has a kryptonite heart, he winds up like screwing over a whole bunch of random people and turning them into Metallos, and then launches a siege on the Daily Planet.
Okay.
Yikes. Yeah. Do they all have kryptonite hearts or just him?
We don't really see them.
They all have grappling hooks.
They
in
do.
their chests.
They certainly have
Yeah,
grappling hooks.
we
but
know
they,
that.
They have like discs that open up. So I assume they don't have kryptonite hearts because they fix the people who Metallo screwed over.
Okay.
Oh.
And I don't know how you could like rip out their hearts and put them
Right, put a regular. Oh, well, your heart. He just has a box of hearts over here. We're just gonna put them back.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a jar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Good call, Christina. So these Metallos are wrecking the planet, and Superman shows up because Jimmy calls him with the signal watch. And then Superman goes to the top of the Daily Planet and then grabs like the pole that connects the planet to the building, and he like rubs it really fast, turning it into a magnet, and not quite a strong enough magnet to pull all the cars off the streets, but just strong enough to pull all the Metallos to the planet.
Wouldn't it also pull like all the metal in the building?
All the paper clips, all the
Yeah, it
knives,
should,
all the, I mean, we do
stuff.
see a chair.
A couple
Oh,
chairs,
hey,
computers, and
okay.
stuff
Yeah.
go.
All right. It should be a lot more, but
Yeah,
okay.
it should
Yeah.
be like everything.
At least we get this.
Yeah. At least it's some thought went into this plan,
But
I
Superman
guess.
is like, okay, this is too weird. I feel like someone's out to get me.
Yeah.
At the very least, that like I got a target on my back.
Yeah.
So he goes to the planet and he's like, so anybody who has any like close connection to me, I'm gonna bring you to the Fortress of Solitude and just protect you there. And I'll just
Wow.
like create a stronghold and I'll defend from whatever's attacking me there. So he's like ferrying people to the fortress, which we've seen in the other Alan Moore Superman story. So it's like it's this weird like vacant cave. It's like a bat cave
Yeah.
with fewer cool things.
Yeah.
Just pointing it out.
That's weird. Oh, I didn't even notice it up there.
Yeah.
It's so unremarkable.
Yeah, it's cavernous
Yes.
and unfriendly.
Right. It's cold.
But it
and
is called the Fortress of Solitude, so I guess it would be.
That's a line in the book.
Really?
Where Lois is like, it's cold and unfeeling and empty, and I guess it should be because that's what it's freaking called.
Oh.
So, by the way, there's also a subplot, kind of, where Perry and his wife are kind of like almost going to get a divorce.
Oh.
Oh.
And but Superman doesn't care, and he brings them both anyway, and they just
Right.
have to deal with it.
Yeah.
And they like argue sometimes, but like no one really cares about it.
Okay.
So then the Kryptonite Man shows up. And
Who's the Kryptonite Man? What?
Kryptonite Man is a dude. He's an alien who flew through a cloud kryptonite gas or whatever.
And it like stuck to him?
Yeah, it infected him and made him into a kryptonite man.
No.
It was like in the wake of the destruction of Krypton, he flew through it's almost like how the Fantastic Four got their powers, only it's like Kryptonian radiation.
Okay.
That's it.
And does he have any powers?
He can shoot kryptonite and rays
and
at
he's
Superman.
like dying.
More or less. He doesn't, I mean, he seems fine, but like he's upset about it.
Is he a Kryptonian? I don't understand.
Not.
Okay.
He's just an alien.
And I'm guessing it's green kryptonite.
Of course.
It looks green.
Not, any of the other colors.
Not like pink or yellow. No.
Exactly.
So the Kryptonite Man's tearing up Metropolis looking for Superman. Of course, as little does he know.
He's not
Superman's in
there.
the Arctic right now. But Brainiac is there, and he brings his skull ship to...
Which is awesome.
Which is awesome.
It's just his head.
Yeah.
It's
With like tentacles coming out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just me, but a bigger me.
It's a bigger man.
That's scary.
It's
That
also
looks-
like a tiny me.
Yeah, well, I'm the tiny me.
No, like even tinier me.
Right, a little me. It's like nanites. They're all just me if you look under a microscope. So Lex Brainiac is like, Kryptonite Man, he's great for our plans. We'll steal him and bring him to the Arctic. And
Wait, is
throw
this
him
a
with Superman."
coincidence that he's there? He wasn't orchestrated by Brainiac?
No.
No, he just showed up.
Yeah, he just shows up. Well, because it's Tuesday.
Right, and a couple people just kind of run off, and some people are probably like, hey, Martian Manhunter.
He's like, oh, damn it.
I guess the thing is, everyone knows his identity, so they're all coming to the
That's
Daily
the
Planet.
implication, but there's actually more to it
okay.
than that.
Oh.
Also, Crypto shows up at the fortress. And so
Yay.
Crypto's in the book, too.
When he shows up, he's like, "Bah, bah, bah."
Exactly. So everybody gets like a weird room at the fortress.
Oh, because he was planning for this. He's
I
got all
guess,
these rooms
or
built.
he had a whole bunch of guest rooms, just in case the Fortress of Solitude was going to be changed to the Fortress of many people who live here
Right,
now.
of not so much solitude. Everyone shut up.
How did he get those rooms built?
He built them himself, I guess.
Oh, so he knows how to like construct
buildings.
things and
Yeah, he's
drywall
Superman.
and
He like,
paint.
probably read a book
I
on
mean,
construction.
Yeah,
Paul
that's
might have
true.
taught him that kind of thing.
That's true. He doesn't know how to build
Yeah,
a barn.
that's true.
barns and
And he can
milking
work at the super
cows.
speed, so it wouldn't take him that long.
Exactly.
tractors. Maybe he watched a lot of PBS.
No doubt.
I don't know. It's wholesome.
In any event, so while everybody's going to bed, Superman gets a visit from the Legion of Superheroes,
Okay.
including
Supergirl's there too.
Well, that's a picture of Supergirl that he has.
Oh.
because she-
I thought the same thing, and I'm like, oh, and then she put on a skirt instead of wearing.
Yeah, no. Supergirl is dead.
Oh. She's
That's-
already dead? I
She's
thought she
already
dies
dead.
in
Crisis, which
Crisis.
is happening at the same time as this book is being released.
Oh, so
In
like
any
we
event,
know that
Supergirl
she dies,
We know
so
she dies.
Okay.
Then Supergirl shows up with the Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah, reality's also unmade though. So like how is this happening?
Forget it. All you need to know is that Supergirl is dead.
Yeah.
That's
So the Legion shows up, and they got Supergirl, but she's younger. She snagged a ride with them to come visit Superman in the future.
Did they tell her?
They straight up don't. And Superman takes Brainiac. There's also another Brainiac, and he's a member of the Legion of Superheroes.
Okay.
And this Brainiac is good and cool.
Is
and,
he the one from later on?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Superman is like, hey, what are you bringing her here for? She's dead here.
Isn't she gonna wonder why I've got a big poster of her?
Yeah, or where
It's
she
gonna
is,
seem real
or why
weird.
she's not here. Also, there's like a weird time travel thing where like you can't be where you already are.
Oh yeah.
So
So then she should know.
Right,
The
well,
only
she's
way I
like-
could be here is if I'm dead.
she puts it together because she's a dimwit that she thinks she's in space. She's like, oh, I must be in space since I'm here. And they're like, yeah.
Yeah, because you're always talking about how much you like
love
space. Yeah.
Trust me. Well, because she's like,
You really love space, don't you,
it's
Supergirl?
that. It's really that. And he's just so sad. And she's like playing with Crypto, and she's like, man, like, where am I? I must be so told, like, am I pretty as a woman? And he's like, you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. And you're like, oh, that's really sad. Like, it's just played for tears.
Right.
And so they're like, hey, listen, like, anyway, we heard that this was a really, really important date for you because, like, shortly after this date, no one ever hears from you again. So we want to give you this, like, statue that says, like, you're dead. And he's like, thanks! You showed me
great.
my dead cousin, and you're giving me a statue that's, like, going to be the one they build in my honor that's for my death? Like, thanks.
Why'd you just kick my dog while you're here?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, nobody heard of Crypto either, so blam.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna take Crypto out back behind the shed.
Yeah. So they
It would be tragic if he lived without his master.
Right. So then they leave, and Superman just starts crying.
Oh
On
jeez.
his,
Lois-
on his big square.
Yeah, on this. Well,
That's
this
a
is
square chair.
Oh, that's where the statue's gonna go.
that's where the statue of him crying is going to go. So anyway, but it's great because it's really sad because the narration is Lois giving an interview about like how she didn't see what happened here. So she says,
she wasn't there.
He never told me what happened. She's in bed. She's
So who's
asleep.
telling us this part?
Lois is telling. Well, we're seeing this part because like we have an omniscient comic book creator showing us the book. But the narration is like he never told me what happened that night. But before the siege began, I saw him the next morning, and it looked like he'd been crying. And you're like, oh. So then the next issue is like actually the last Superman issue, and it moves on. So like. So Superman's like melting the key to the fortress because he doesn't want anyone to be able to like lift it and put it and like open it.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Lois is giving coffee to this like cute young Daily Planet reporter.
Oh, now he's young?
I mean, he's younger than her.
When he arrived, he did not look young.
No, he could be a game show host. He looks
exactly like a game show host.
Yeah.
But he's younger. He looks younger than, I guess that's her husband looks.
Well, I'm guessing what happened is once they started drawing a different man who was supposed to be older, they were like, uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's not really that important, but Jordan Elliott, Lois's husband, shows up, and he's like what everyone looks like in 1986.
Right.
He's got a swell Burt Reynolds stash.
He's got a Doctor Strange mustache from that time.
That's right, and he's got the Doctor Strange hair, too.
Yeah, the white...
But he's like, what's going on? And he's got like a dumb accent for some reason. And, and Crane's like, hey, so, oh man, like I'm sorry that like we're talking about like Lois and the times and he's like, oh, Doink and Superman? He's a loser. Like the real heroes are us, like people.
Yeah, and Lois is like, yeah.
Yeah, and Crane's like, sure. That's why I'm writing an article about you friggin' idiot. So.
Why did Lois marry this guy?
Because Lois is a vacuous person. She's the Veronica of the Superman universe.
Yeah.
So, Betty and Veronica.
Right, yeah, okay.
You know, Lana Lang, Lois Lane, anyway. So, Superman's like preparing for a ground assault when Brainiac's skull ship, Lex Luthor's dumpy body, the radioactive man, like all get out and they're all ready to go. When the Legion of Villains shows up from also the 31st century.
Oh.
It's just like an inverted Legion of Superheroes.
Yep.
And they're just jerks who are like, we heard Superman dies today, we want to watch. What? And they're like, cool. And they say that his greatest nemesis defeated him. And Brainiac's like, that's me. Cool. Good to know. Feel free to watch.
Yeah. It's going to work. Sweet.
Also, that guy's dressed like Christmas.
Yeah, he really is.
Like, just...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Evil Santa.
Do they even get names, or are they just like...
I just gave you his name.
Evil Santa.
Right.
Yeah, they do have names. I mean, they're all like... They're basically evil counterpart versions of the Legion of Superheroes.
Right.
And you get Cosmic Boy and Saturn Girl, and like this is like Cosmic Man and Saturn Woman. You know, it's just...
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Lightning Lord and Saturn Woman.
Why is his costume that color then?
Because green and red are complementary colors.
Yeah, I know that.
So anyway, then Brainiac like launches this huge dome around the fortress and like 2 miles outside of the fortress.
I think it's this chair or this area of the couch. When you started saying he launched this huge and you said D, I was like, deuce.
He launched a huge deuce.
You're infected by the
Damn it, Ben.
by the Ben field.
Yep, he just straight up poops on Superman, and that turns out to be brown kryptonite, and Superman dies. But not before pooping himself as well.
And everyone that day
Thanks for that, Ben.
Just all agreed that they would never talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, we don't know what happened to Superman.
Yeah, he
the last that anyone ever heard of
We'll
him.
never talk about it. And then Lois concocts this grand villainous battle.
Yeah, she's just been adding to it every year. She has a little more.
Oh, and then the villains from the future showed up to watch because it's so infamous.
It's so epic. So Superman can't leave because the Kryptonite Man's like, no, I'm radioactive.
Why doesn't he just fly in the other direction?
Yeah, like just he's in one place.
Well, also he knows he's got to protect like.
Okay.
Oh,
Because it's not like he's fast. He seems to run at a normal pace.
He really does seem to do that.
He's just.
But while that's happening, other superheroes show up and they're trying to like break the barrier, which is kind of hilarious. You got like Captain Marvel who's like punching it with like the strength of almost Superman, but then you got like Batman and Robin who are just hitting it with sticks. It's like
that's not gonna work, man.
I appreciate the effort.
If Captain Marvel can't get through,
please.
I just want to bring up, where did they get these sticks? Did they bring them with them?
Those are
because it's not like they got them around.
Well, maybe they're bats.
They're bat batons.
They're batons.
They have to be bats. It's branding.
They're like telescoping. They came out of the utility belt.
Anyway, everyone kind of knocks off for nighttime.
Right. Like, oh, that didn't work.
Yep. And so everyone goes to sleep, and Superman goes to Perry's room.
What?
Perry and his wife have separate rooms.
Wait, literally everybody just stops? Like,
yeah.
All the bad guys go back into Brainiac's ship.
Yes.
I guess they're going to wait him out.
Yeah.
Like, all the superheroes go home.
They just wait outside. The superheroes don't leave.
It's cold.
Yeah, well, they probably get into like Wonder Woman's invisible plane or something. So Superman and Perry have like a heart-to-heart because Superman's like, you know,
All the bad guys are here. They're here to kill me.
Superman's not concerned about that. He's more like, he's more concerned about the fact that he never really like told Lana Lang that he doesn't love her anymore and he's actually in love with Lois. And like Lana's here and it's awkward.
Oh.
Is Lois here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, was he in a relationship with Lana Lang at the time?
Yeah. Oh no, he was in a relationship with her. Then they break up, and then like she moves to Metropolis, and like so we play it up, you know, like Superman's not married, so why doesn't he date like Lana or Lois? Maybe he can't tell the difference, or he can't, like, you know, he can't decide between them. Is what the point.
Right. But he has already decided.
Yes.
He just didn't tell her.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
he's like sad that he's such a coward.
Does Lois Lane care about Clark Kent at all at this point?
Clark Kent's not. He's dead.
Well, he's dead now, but I mean like before.
Yeah. I mean, like
Okay.
Lois is still Lois. It's the Lois you remember.
Okay.
Particularly by '86. So while that's happening, Lana and Jimmy can't sleep, and they've broken into Superman's like treasure trove of stuff from pre-crisis continuity, which can make anything happen, and there have been like a multitude of comics about those things.
Right.
They also have had stories in which they have done this already, so they do it again. This includes Jimmy taking a serum to become Elastic Lad, so he can be like stretchy, and so that Lana takes a dip into this magic lake water, which gives her powers so that she can be Superwoman.
What?
But they did that recently and with
All-Star Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not just that, but like Lana.
Lana and Lois got
like
superpowers
Yeah.
in Rebirth. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
They've been telling these stories for 100 years.
Yeah.
We'll tell them for 100 more. So
anybody could just do this at any time, go in this pool and get superpowers?
well, yeah, but it's hard to get into the Fortress of Solitude.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I guess Superman.
That's why it's like out. That's why there's no lock on anything.
Superman can't go in there because it's magic.
That's right. And he does make a point about magic and how he's weak to it in the story.
Does she intentionally do that to get powers, or she doesn't know idea what's going to happen?
Oh no, she knows because she's done it before.
Oh.
She intentionally does it so that she can be naked in front of Jimmy for some reason.
Right.
She tells him to avert his eyes. But what's great is they've done this already, so Superman has costumes of theirs that he kept in a trophy room, so they just take the costumes back out and put
Right.
them back up.
I'm going to go do the thing that I
They're
did.
like, Superman needs help.
Right.
And
Fair enough.
we're the only people who could have powers to help him.
Why don't all of them jump in the lake thing?
Yeah.
Because
None of them did it before except for these two.
Exactly.
What does it matter?
There's not enough costumes to go around.
Well,
Because
I
it's
mean-
all it is a callback.
Wouldn't it
Yeah.
be easier for Superman if like the people he was protecting could at least stand up?
To death.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like for a moment.
He doesn't
see
have
why.
costumes for them.
Anyway, so Superman's bitching and moaning about how he doesn't love Lana anymore. But Lana has already dipped into the magic pool, so she's getting all these like powers, including super hearing, so she hears that Superman doesn't love her anymore and that he actually loves Lois. And she's like, well, I'm still going to defend him. Like,
Sure.
I still care about him, and so she goes out there with Elastic Lad to stop, everybody. Which
Okay.
includes
They
like,
already stopped.
oh no, they kick back up again.
Oh,
So like
okay.
Kryptonite Man fights Superwoman, and she's like, I'm not for Kryptonian.
Right.
So she's
So I
slapping
can
him
punch
around.
him, yeah.
Meanwhile, Jimmy is trying to deactivate the like dome that's keeping everyone in there.
Okay. With his elastic powers?
Yeah. As you can see, he used them to get
Oh.
up to a high place.
So he doesn't have to climb the ladder. That's
Yeah.
right there.
Well, he could still do it, but it would take like twice as long.
I don't want to climb like 10 feet. I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you know how to shut off the machine?
I'll just use my elastic powers to do that. So
What?
while he's doing that, Lana's like slapping Kryptonite Man around, and then she comes before Brainiac Luthor, and Luthor's like, yeah, Lana, you gotta help me. Brainiac's manipulating my body. You gotta kill me, Lana.
Oh,
so
wow.
she slaps him and snaps his neck, and he dies.
What? That's awesome.
I know. So then, like, the evil legion of superheroes or whatever, like, they're like, oh, this is going bad.
Like, whoa. What? I came here to watch Superman die, not Lex Luthor and Brainiac get beaten by this chick I've never heard of.
Exactly. Well, plus, like, that's supposed to be his greatest villain. He's dead on the floor, so this isn't going to work out. Maybe we're the greatest villain. So then they, like, attack her,
Oh,
and
jeez.
they basically take away... Cosmic Man uses his transmutation abilities to turn the radioactive traces in her tissues to normal body salts, which keep
Makes
her
her-
from having powers.
Okay.
And then Lightning Lord
Yeah.
electrocutes her to death, and so she dies.
Oh,
I was wondering
wow.
what that was down there.
Yeah, that was a smoking
Smoldering-
husk
that
of her body.
smoldering pile. I thought it was like a dog.
Yeah, and then Elastic Lad, aka Jimmy Olsen, like stops screwing around with the machine to go help her.
Hold on. How has Superman not heard any of this?
He's too busy, still pouring his heart up to Perry or something. I don't know. He should absolutely hear
from
it.
the get-go.
Lana accidentally hears that Superman doesn't want to date her anymore.
Yeah, but Superman can't hear this huge fight.
Can't hear his longest running friendships ended with death.
Does he show up? Oh, before Jimmy gets it?
No, Jimmy gets zapped in the back.
Damn it!
By Brainiac.
I kind of assumed he was waiting out the whole Lana thing. He's like,
okay, now I don't have to have an awkward conversation. But I'll save Jimmy.
Lightning Lord, you did me a solid.
Yeah, good call,
you
man.
you can get out of here without me kicking your ass.
Yeah, you go back to the 30th century. So, Elastic Lad is shot in the back and killed, and the Legion is like, what is this? And then Lex Luthor's dead body rises up like some kind of macabre puppet, and Brainiac's like, I'm Brainiac. I reduced Kandor to nothing. I made it a tiny thing. I'm Superman's greatest foe. I can't be killed by a mortal body.
Right.
So here we go. So then
but how's that body walking around when you're attached to his head?
This has gone straight up like Junji Ito over here.
Yeah, he's puppeteering it.
Yeah, but its spinal cord was snapped or broke.
It's all hair.
It's not hair. He uses what's it called? Well, later Lex's rigor mortis will set in, and he's like, I can't use it as much anymore.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, no, it's like he's zapping it more or less to do what he wants.
He's jury rigging the.
Yeah. But the force shield should be down, but isn't. And they're like, cool. Well,
so Jimmy did something to it, but it didn't work.
He did what should have deactivated, but it's not deactivated.
Okay.
It's still up. And so.
Oh, now Green Arrow's here.
Yeah,
they're all there.
And Martian Manhunter and Hawkman. Well, they had plenty of time. They had a full night's sleep.
But we can't draw any more than 5 of them in one panel.
Oh, no.
Because before it was 5 people, but they were different 5, except for Batman and Robin.
Oh, I just like drawing Batman.
Yeah.
So
right, well, who doesn't?
I'm going to keep drawing Batman. If I'm drawing Batman, I'm drawing Robin.
Yeah.
So who else do you want in the panel now?
Mm-hmm. So then, Brainiac launches a nuke at the mountain that the fortress is in.
Okay.
To try and, get in. This causes an avalanche, which might kill Perry's wife, but Perry pushes her out of the way.
Okay.
It's like, I love you. We shouldn't fight. We might die. And so she's like, Perry, take me to my room so that we can spend time together. And you're like, oh, good, these old people are going to bang.
In the Fortress
How
of
nice.
Solitude.
Yeah.
It's where Superman could totally hear it.
Or not, apparently.
So they break a hole in the fortress, and so Kryptonite Man just runs in. He's like, come on, Superman! He's been doing this since he went to Metropolis. Like, Superman! I gotta kill you! And then Krypto shows up, and he just blasts through the wall and then tears out his throat, which kills Kryptonite Man, but also poisons Krypto to death.
Oh.
And Krypto lets out a death rattle howl and then dies.
Does Superman hear that?
He definitely hears that shit.
Okay.
Okay.
So he's not totally deaf.
Yeah. He doesn't hear the tortured screams of Lana Lang.
So he hears what anybody would hear.
Yeah.
Which is Krypto screaming really loud.
Yeah, it's really sad. So Krypto friggin' dies.
That's really sad, yeah.
And you're like, whoa, okay, so you killed Lana and Jimmy and Clark Kent's identity and Krypto
and Lex
and Kryptonite Man.
You know that he killed Krypto because he's like, this is what is going to make people think it's serious. You
killed Jimmy.
I know, but it's like,
yeah,
now you killed it's just a dog.
You killed the dog.
And the dog is like Superman powered.
This book isn't going to pass the did the dog die.
Yeah. And Superman hears it, but he has to ignore it because he's trying to get everybody out of there. So Superman's flying Lois and the statue the Legion of Superheroes gave him. So top priorities. He's flying her out of here, and he goes, I don't know where Perry and Alice are. They're okay, but I can't find Jimmy anywhere. Maybe they fled. And then the Legion shows up and goes, or maybe they died.
Maybe.
Oh.
And then Lightning Lord goes, ha 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 ha.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, he does the supervillain thing.
I like that. I don't know where
It's just great. It's just, you can put ha 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 and we get that it's laughter, but it's like ha 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 ha.
No,
so I believe those are ha
ha
ha ha ha
ha.
You do. Just you can count them and you can feel it in your soul.
I like that. It looks like I guess she asks about the others.
And
and he says he's like I don't I don't know where Perry and Alice are, but I know they aren't hurt. Because I can totally hear them bang.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what's probably causing this avalanche. It's just the horrible.
He's like, in one ear, it's just the death throes of Krypto, and the other one, it's just 2 old people making love.
Thinking that it's the last night on Earth. So
Yeah.
they're pulling out all the stops.
Superman's like, This is not a good day.
This is like the worst day of my life. And then Lightning Lord's like, why don't you throw me your girlfriend because I killed your last one? And he's like, what? And so he just blasts heat vision at them, and he's like, he burned me. He burned me bad.
A little bit.
So then they just leave, and they go to like the 30th century.
You know, never mind.
Screw this.
Oh, fine. You're going to take it so personally?
Well, yeah,
it's
if
great
you're
'cause
going
they're
to
like,
shoot me, then I'll just leave.
Well, they're like, you know what's not in the story? Us. Let's leave. So then they bail. And then he sees like Lex Luthor, and he's like, I'm winning. And Superman's like, holy crap. And then like Brainiac's like laughing at him about how, you know, like, I got confirmation from the 30th century that your greatest villain is going to defeat you, and I'm going to beat you. Oh, what the hell? The body is getting frozen and shit. And he just, timber. And he just lands face first in the snow. And then like it crawls off of Lex and then dies.
Oh, why? Why does it die? It was alone in the snow for years.
Yeah, I know, but like, I guess it
couldn't
used
handle.
up all its energy.
Yeah.
Or
It was
It had
too
a-
connected to Lex.
Oh, maybe.
No.
Some part of Lex's death imprinted onto him.
I think so.
That scene is like very reminiscent of The Thing.
Yes.
Like,
Freaking
kidding me.
shitting me.
Yep.
Yeah. Just-
Yeah.
then R.J. McCready shows up, and his
Yeah.
book gets real good.
And he's like, fuck you too! So Lois and Superman is standing out there in the snow, and he's like, this is a weird day.
Yeah.
This doesn't make any sense, what's happening.
No.
Like, why is the force shield still up? Why are all my friends dead? Why did I get this stupid statue? It's dumb. And then he's like, oh, it's dumb. Hey, Mixia Spitlick, get out here.
You know, I was going to ask about him earlier, but I was like, I don't know when he came around. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
When'd you come round?
In the 40s. Because he looks like he was
What do
invented.
you think?
Yeah.
At a time when everything was stupid.
So Mixia Spitlick shows up and he's like, hey, it's me, you figured it out. I really did kill all those people, though.
Whoa, too far.
I've been manipulating everything. Like, the force shield's up because I want it to be up.
Right.
And Superman's like, what? Why? And he's like, here's the deal. I'm immortal. I've been around for thousands of years. For the first couple thousands of years, I didn't do anything at all. I didn't breathe or look at anything. I just stood. Then the next thousands of years, I was really cool. And then like another 1,000 years later, I was here and I was mischievous. And now I'm going to spend another 1,000 years just like maybe being a complete monster. By the way, do you think that I'm from the 5th dimension and I'm an immortal being? Do you really think my true form is this dumbass in a friggin' derby? And then he becomes this horrible demon and he chases after them.
And his derby pops off. Just
Boop. Wow.
And so he chases after Lois and Superman and then gets into the thing and he's like, okay, he's magic. I can't beat him.
Right.
And Lois is like, the statue is given to you by the Legion and said you were defeated by your greatest nemesis. Maybe the statue has something to do with it. And so Superman looks at the statue and he's holding the Phantom Zone projector. He's like, got it. So Superman flies over to the trophy room, grabs the Phantom Zone projector, and he's like, that's it, Mixia Spitlick, it's time for you to die. And Spitlick's like, oh no! So then he says his name backwards, which is Kiltipsisium.
Yeah.
And as he's being zapped by the Phantom Zone projector, he's being transported to the 5th dimension, and like Rumple freaking Stiltskin, he's ripped in half.
what? Oh, because he said it himself?
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
so
he's trying to
he's trying to get
outrun-
back.
Yeah, before he gets sent to the
But
Phantom
it's
Zone.
already hitting
So
him.
some part of him is going to the Phantom Zone, and the other half's going to the 5th dimension, which rips him in half, and he dies.
That's awesome.
And he's like, I killed him, and I wanted to, and so I've broken my sacred oath of never killing anybody. And like, no one has the right to kill anybody. Not him, not me, not you. So I'm going to stop. So then Superman goes into this special chamber,
Yeah.
which contains gold and kryptonite, which will take away his superpowers.
Oh.
And so Lois recounts the story about how he entered the room and he never came out. And my assumption is he went through the back door and he froze to death in the tundra. And then like the superheroes like piece together everything and get all the bodies.
They went looking for him though, right?
They didn't find him.
Oh.
So either he like stayed in that room until everybody left, or he like, you know, ran out of food in the Fortress of Solitude and died, or he went and died from exposure. It's
Okay.
great to just watch all the superheroes being like, huh. Like Shazam just looking at the skull ship like, weird. Because it
That's
is
a weird day. Yeah, it is weird.
And Lois is just left alone with the statue. So then the reporter is like, cool, well, that's a crazy story. Thanks a lot. Like, do you think he made it? And she's like, nope. I certainly don't.
Right.
And then she tells him what I told you about, like maybe he like stayed in the fortress or he moved on, but more likely he just died. And then Jordan, Lois's husband, shows up with their son, Jonathan.
He gets him out of the
weird
bubble
coffin.
thing.
Yeah. Takes him out of stasis.
And he's like, "Hey, our kid's awake. Come on!" And then Crane leaves, and they're like, "Wow, that was weird. Like, I guess he'll be gone for. I guess we won't be bothered for another 10 years until they do another 10-year retrospective on Superman." And he goes, "I hope so." And what's it called? Like Jordan's telling the story about how like he went to work and he had like he's fixing a '46 Buick, and she's like, "Really, you don't miss being Superman, Jordan?"
Yep.
And like and Jonathan is playing with the coal that is left next to the fireplace, and he grabs a piece and he squeezes it and it becomes a diamond. And you're like, oh. And then Jordan says like, "So what's for dinner?" And she goes, "Pizza." And after that, if Jonathan's quiet, I thought maybe some bed and a bottle of wine. And then after that, we lived happily ever after. Sound good to you? And then Jordan's like going into the bedroom as Lois is taking off her clothes, and he goes, "Lois, my love, what do you think?" And he looks at us, the audience, and he gives a big old wink.
Well, you go. That's the answer to how they could have a baby. He didn't have any powers.
Yeah.
But he had enough powers to pass it on.
Yeah, well,
it's genetic.
It's genetic. He didn't
because the son didn't get the golden kryptonite, right?
Exactly. So
the kryptonite takes away your powers, but not the underlying cause of them.
Not the DNA.
Right.
I guess.
Okay.
But I love it because Jordan Elliott, Jor-El, Superman's father.
Oh, that's cool.
That's more clever than I would have expected.
Well, it's Alan Moore. You see, anyone else, they'd be like, whatever. It's something else.
To be fair, though, Alan Moore's written some great things.
Yeah.
But
he also wrote Youngblood.
Thank you.
And Spawn Wildcats.
I'm just saying.
That's after he realized it was all bullshit.
Oh, you bullshit.
At this point, he's still trying a little bit.
I thought it'd be fun if his name was Jordan Elliott, Jor-El. I mean, or not, fuck it.
Thanks, Alan. I'm so glad you come on the show.
Maybe I'll call him Jasper Crispinson because it's Jesus Christ, because people think he's a Jesus allegory. Even though it's a vast misunderstanding of the character, he's more like Moses, but whatever. Anyway.
Nobody asked you, Alan.
I answer every question like someone's asked me something. But whatever happened to The Man of Tomorrow is a beautiful little story about like the end of Superman, but it's also like really sad and angry and mean, and like
it's also like weirdly irresponsible. Where it's just like, I killed one person, I will never save anyone ever again.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's Jordan says in his like closing monologue how like Superman needed to die. He thought the world couldn't go on without him, but it turns out like it really, really could, and like the world didn't need Superman after all. Which is also like really sad too.
Tell that to the building down the street who like 5 people died in a fire.
That's why we killed all of Superman's villains. Like now it's like
that doesn't stop fires.
We got the fire department. Humanity can take care of itself.
Plus you got Batman and Wonder Woman and Shazam. Shazam's almost as powerful as Superman anyway.
Yeah.
He does like other things.
Well, he's just not as popular.
It's
just like, look, it's a bird, it's a plane. It's Shazam again.
Oh. Well, Superman's gone, so thanks, I guess.
Hey, Captain Marvel, could you wear this Superman?
Well, in some books, I do.
Yeah, the worst ones. So there you have it. I will put a link in the description box below this video so you can get a copy of this story. It has both. It has whatever happened and also...
And another thing I saw.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. There's also a Superman Swamp Thing story for no reason.
Because he was writing Swamp Thing.
Yep.
He was writing Swamp Thing, and it's a pretty bitchin' story.
Okay.
But it's a great little collection, so go down there, pick it up. I highly recommend you read it. It's cute and sweet and fun. It's, I don't know, I love it. I think it's a great little send-off, and it's a huge love letter to those who love like pre-crisis continuity.
Yeah. It's also way darker than that art, and like.
Oh no!
It is very dark.
But it's fun because it's Chris Swan who it's a definitive Superman artist who would draw something like that. But George Perez also did some of the work in there, and it's really cool because Perez is a titan.
It's fitting for a time right after Supergirl has died.
Yes.
It's almost like more like, oh, we're killing people now?
Oh, we're killing them off. Friggin'.
Yeah.
I mean, the story's over. Plus, this continuity's ending. So why not just pull out all the stops? We'll kill the Kryptonite Man. We'll have a dog rip his jugular out.
Yeah. It's a super serious battle.
Yeah. But it's also like in his silly-ass Fortress of Solitude. I mean, the same same continuity. Like in What Do You Get for the Man Who Was Everything? That epic Mongol fight takes place in his silly Fortress of Solitude.
Right.
As well.
Yep.
So what clever question is the Superman Swamp Thing book called?
It's just called Superman Swamp Thing. And thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Another all new episode of Back Issues. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
And I'm Tiffany.
So long.
Got it that time.
You remember that time, yeah.
I did. It's like,
It's happening.